Amazing people provide and produce amazing stories. The motor racing focus was on Sydney last weekend for the running of the final round of the V8 Championship. Also the last time it will be solely a competition between Ford and Holden. Nissan and Mercedes have joined the series from next year. Another big change next year will come in the GT3 Porsche series. That's the feeder class to the ultra-competitive Porsche Carrera Cup. Racing in the GT3s will be a bloke called Matt Speakman. He's fought for 3 years for the right to be there. For the last 21 years, he's been paralysed below the waist. He lost the use of his legs when his motorbike was hit by a drunk driver in 1993. Despite the injury and an initial period of feeling depressed, Matt's never lost the competitive spirit. He's skied, he's scuba dived, he's raced yachts, but he says motorsport's been part of my DNA. It's not just motorsport that has his attention. He's also an ambassador for Spinal Cure Australia, and one day we hope there'll be no one in a wheelchair. We will find cures for all of this. Every single day, an Australian is paralysed by a spinal cord injury. The most common age of injury is 19. At the moment, there are approximately 15,000 men and women living with paralysis caused by spinal injury. Well, Matt says, I'll talk to you, but I'm coming in. Here he is. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Alan.
Matt's 45 years of age, I have to say, and you were very, very active and an athlete and all the rest of it. And a drunk, can happen to anyone, can't it?
Yep, exactly right. And I do get a chance to speak to young kids about road safety on a lot of occasions, and I always tell them that one person could be coming for them, and to be very diligent out on the roads and keep an eye out and just hope that you can miss that person. But, one bad decision from one young guy, and it ruined a lot of lives.
What happened?
It was back in 1993. I just competed Wayne Gardner's masterclass of road racing and had secured some sponsorship to go into the 1993 600 Supersport Championship, and picked up the bike that won the championship the year before, put it in a mate's garage, and went to work in the inner city of Sydney here. And then on the way home from work, got hit by the drunk driver. So,
boy, oh boy, when did you find out, or how soon did you find out that life had changed?
Pretty much while I was laying in the gutter.
You knew?
Yeah, they taught us when we were road racing, if you ever get knocked out in a motorbike accident, as soon as you come to, lay there for a couple of minutes and make sure that, you've stopped moving, and don't try and get up while you're still running. But before you try and jump up, just wiggle fingers and toes and make sure that everything's working, so you don't hop up on a broken leg.
Working.
No, I discovered I had some pretty bad breaks in my arms, and then went to wiggle toes. And being a motorbike racer and knowing the how serious spinal cord injury is and how likely it is to happen in a bad accident, as soon as I had numbness in my legs, I knew exactly what had happened.
Was it hard for you to accept that?
It was. It was a crazy time. There was a lot of negativity involved, and I was constantly being told what I couldn't do anymore. And it was a particular time when I was in intensive care still, and I was starting to feel pretty depressed about the whole situation. And just out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that they were teaching a young guy that had broken his neck.
3 beds up.
Yep, 3 beds up, how to use an electric wheelchair with a blow tube. And at that instance, I thought, wow, things could have been a hell of a lot worse. And from that moment, I took the opportunity to get on with life and start.
When you left the hospital, how hard was it to adjust to life in a wheelchair?
Basically, it was just a matter of trying things.
Trying things?
My girlfriend at the time had some family friends that had a house in Vanuatu. So we packed up, and 2 weeks out of hospital, we just shipped over there, got away from all the rehab and everything else, and just started trying. Like, first of all, we tried getting the wheelchair across the sand into the water. That worked. Tried going out in a yacht. That worked. Managed to get the local scuba company to let me try scuba diving again. That worked. And then it became a challenge, like, right, what else can we do? And then I had the opportunity to do Sydney Hobart. That worked. And then it was like, right, if all that works, then my true love and what I'm best at in life is motorsport. And I do believe I've got a real talent for motorsport. It's just one of those things that's in my DNA.
But you went to the Olympics.
Didn't quite get to the Paralympics.
Didn't get to the Paralympics.
No, but
the Winter Olympics, didn't you go? Did you go to the...
Yeah, it's the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, Winter Olympics, yeah.
But to keep fit for motorsport, you need to be very fit. As the people saw on the weekend, it was nearly 60 degrees inside the car. So
So what did the organisers say when you told them, listen, I want to be part of this, forget the wheelchair, I want to be part of this?
Well, I first started lobbying to CAMS back in 95 after we did the 94 Sydney Hobart, and their first reaction was, sorry, you're in a what and you want to do what? And it wasn't, I must say, it wasn't a real enthusiastic response that I got from CAMS originally.
But I've only known you for 5 minutes, and just looking at you and the way you speak, that made you 50 times more determined.
Yes, exactly right. That's the worst thing in life you can do. Please don't tell me I can't do something. 'Cause
Amazing. So you then went to a Gold Coast automotive engineer, Andy McElrea, and to get the hand controls that you needed built. So he's helped you a lot, hasn't he?
He has indeed. Well, that was the most frustrating part of all this. Back in 95, CAMS came back and said, look, we don't really want to put you on a racetrack because back then they used to run localised yellow. So if there was an incident, all the cars would still be at full race speed, and it required a flag marshal to actually put himself in danger to come out and assist me to get off the track. And I agreed with them. I didn't want to put other people in danger. So it's been a long time waiting. It's like my 20th anniversary of being in a wheelchair next year. And when I finally got the okay from CAMS a year or so ago that, yes, okay, you can go back to circuit racing, then the next step was trying to get a series organiser to actually believe that I could drive one of their cars. And unfortunately, I got a few doors slammed in my face and got mucked around for a while. And finally, I changed my approach and stopped asking if I could, and basically rang Porsche Driving School and said, oh, look, I am driving in your series next year's. Would it be all right if I just put like a couple of little driving aids on your just on one of your driving school cars? So they got Thomas Maziera, the chief driving instructor, to ring up, and he said, what exactly driving aids do you need? And I went, oh, just brake, clutch, gears, and accelerator. And he went, isn't that everything? So instead of trying to explain to Thomas exactly how I was driving the car, I actually took the car from Hervey Bay, where I was living at the time, down to Queensland Raceway.
Got 2 weeks ago, Hervey Bay.
Okay, lovely spot.
Lovely spot.
And Thomas had a look over the car, and he was pretty enthusiastic. I'd already done my homework about Andy McElrea and the McElrea racing team, and said to Thomas that I was going to approach Andy to do the hand controls.
So when's the first race? That's what I want to know.
First race is coming up in April at Malala in South Australia. We
will talk to you before that first race, okay? They're running a book there on the TAB. Can we have a few bob on you?
I'm sure someone will have a book out somewhere. But
it's a wonderful story, Matt. Have a very happy Christmas, wonderful New Year in April. We'll talk before then.
Thank you very much.
What a story, eh? Matt Speakman. Plenty of Australians could do with that kind of attitude, couldn't they?